following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the Up Tempo Podcast. I'm your host, Blake Lane, here tonight with my co-host, Dustin Smith. Dustin, we're here to talk about some Auburn Tigers baseball, man. Big positive vibes on this podcast, man. We finally get to talk about a series win, dude. I mean, what a performance from the Auburn Tigers on Sunday afternoon. Just down and out, it felt like, and then just roaring back and making it happen with your season on the line. There's so much to talk about tonight, man. But first, Dustin, how was your weekend? I know I watched your Bolts take a painful L the other night in overtime. Man, how was it?
Well, Game 4 coming up here in about an hour for us. We're down 2-1, like you said, giving up that goal in the final minute after you dominated the whole game. And then kind of the same thing there in overtime. So we were down 2-1 last year to this very team. So I trust the boys. Obviously, you got like a decade now of championship medal that we can look at. But I also worry and say, damn, man, at some point the ride comes to an end, right? So, and
yeah,
we're getting older. So we'll see how it goes, man. I'm nervous. I thought about it all day.
Well, man, yeah, this weekend there was so much sports going on, Dustin. There, you had college baseball, Major League Baseball, NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs. You had Tank Gervonta Davis. Yeah, you had XFL. You had Davis and Garcia in the boxing ring, and that was one thing that I kind of hyped my weekend around, and it was just a pure letdown. Once Ryan took the knee, man, I was like, no way. Just a complete snooze fest that I thought was really going to be, kind of put boxing back into the spotlight, and it was just, I said, bro, you can't go down like this. Like, you got to at least get up and go out on your shield and get knocked out. Don't take a knee and quit, like at least get up and then take another knee or something, like try to catch your breath from that liver shot, something, bro. Like, I want to see you face plant in the ring. Don't take a knee and just not get up. So that was the snooze fest for me for the weekend, man. I was extremely disappointed in it, but man.
But boxing has the problem that baseball has. Like, it's not promoted well. I found out that fight was coming a couple of days before, which is often the case now. Like with boxing, it'll be Wednesday or Thursday, and I'll be like, "Who's fighting Saturday?" Oh, like I got it's done terribly. On that fight though, it's funny. Just a little shout out to my little brother. I've been telling you for a long time, little bro. I've been telling you for a long time. Garcia ain't about it. I've literally been telling Tyler Blake for 3-4 years that he will fold in the big moment. Now, part of that is just me talking trash to my little brother, trying to like annoy him talking about his guy.
Yeah.
But it panned out, so cool beans.
Yeah, man, he folded. Now he's getting called a TikTok and Instagram boxer. So, kind of like that Jake Paul guy. But, man.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, man. But, Dustin, man, look, these Auburn Tigers, all right, season on the line. We know we said it last week in Tuscaloosa. But, man, you got some projections from D1 baseball last week, and they kind of gave Auburn a little bit of a pulse, and they still had a little life left, being the first team left out of the NCAA tournament, man. So you look into this weekend, and you have Mississippi State, who was one of the first 5 teams in the tournament, and so you look and you're like, hey, we take 2 out of 3, then possibly that's going to bump us into Mississippi State's spot. And, they would fall beneath us and into our spot. So, Tommy Vail goes out Friday and he gives you the performance of a lifetime. I mean, repeatable performances now. I mean, it's starting to just go like clockwork with Tommy Vail. Standing ovation for him. And then, you got Christian Herberholtz. He comes out in game 2 and he shoves for, I think, 5 innings. We'll talk about that. But then the bullpen lets it get away. And then Sunday you have the injury to Crotchfeld. Things look like they're just falling off a cliff, man. It looks like it's going terribly wrong. And then, by God, Cooper Murray. All right. Cooper McMurray, bro, comes out of just freakazoid performance and hits both foul poles and says, "Hey, we're not going home just yet. Okay. We're doing this for Case and Hal." He said after the game that everybody just come together and said, "Hey, do this for Case and Hal." All right. He's a guy that come back and we need to get to the postseason. So I think you saw this team really come together Sunday, and what Bryson Ware did late in that game, and then Cole Foster, who hadn't got a hit all day, who had been struggling, said his ABs were just absolutely terrible all weekend, comes up with the biggest hit of the year so far, Dustin. Man, what did you think about this performance from the Auburn Tigers in all three games?
Well, I think that and we talked about this last series, and it was a trend up until halfway through this series, was that the pitching was on point out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden guys go cold. Top of the lineup for that first game and a half was struggling again, outside of Coop maybe, but like man, just resiliency that like we've seen from these guys all year. And you just like season on the line, last 5 out, 2 big series coming up. So you're looking saying we got to get this series. And then it just seems like, and shame on everybody who left the ballpark on Saturday.
Yeah.
Have you not been watching this team? Now, listen, I get frustrated too when it's, Sunday. I had to flip over and watch my Rays for a little bit. They were on at the same time, and it was, 7-0. And I said, damn it, I got to see some strikes. I just had to kind of wash myself of bad baseball for a little bit. I come back over, and we just start raking. It's just you can never count these guys out because the lineup, we talked about it a million times, man. It's just so deep. So all of a sudden, if I look at it and I say, well, man, these are back-to-back really good starts out of Tommy Vail. These are back-to-back really good starts out of Herbert Holtz. Like what we saw from Herbert Holtz on Saturday, like we've already said, with basically the season on the line. And that's not hyperbole, because like you said, if the guys had to come together and say, we got to do this for Kaysen, then that means they know it's slipping away. So for them to buckle down and get that done, for those guys to come in and give us really good starts, it's unfortunate to see Zach. He was kind of struggling out the gate, especially that first inning, which is I'm noticing is a thing for him. He's a guy that it takes him a minute to get settled in. With Zach, you're almost like, let's just get out of the first, and then we'll be okay. And I think that just comes with youth, and I think it kind of comes with, and this isn't a knock on anybody, even though I'm not crazy about the way some of our stuff has been handled this year, but I understand it from the standpoint of you're just trying to find something that works. But what I'm saying is Zach starting bullpen, he's kind of all over the place. So I can see where a young guy like that is kind of struggling to find his role, catch his groove, and why it takes him a minute to get going. I get it. Me and you talked about it a million times. You're saying it's been puppies, right? It's puppies out here. These guys are just young in a very tough situation. But you saw the veterans step up. Very excited to see the young guys like Chris Stanfield, dude, making some good defensive plays. Bobby had a blunder out there. I think in game 3, comes back, makes a great play. Like, tell me this, Blake, defensively, is there a better outfield in the SEC than when you have Stanfield, Case and Howell, and Bobby Pierce out there?
It's tough, man. Like, they're really, really good, and Dustin, one thing that I'm damn proud of this Auburn team with is I look at Chris Stanfield Sunday, and he had 2 blunders. All right. He lets a ball go underneath his glove, coming in on the do or die. One thing is, I didn't think Mississippi State was going to send the guy. All right. So he doesn't come through and field the ball, and it gets past him. It clears the bases. Guy gets a triple, and then the fly ball down the left field line. He comes in, he can't find it. Cole's pointing, and it falls in for a hit. It was tough, but man, the way this Auburn team just kind of bonded around him and picked him up, and said, hey, look, we're going to need you. All right. At some point in this game, we're going to need you to make something happen. Because let's be honest, his hustle won you the game Friday night. And that's why I said he can never be taken out of the lineup for the rest of the year. All right. Tuesday night, he's got to play. All right. He has to play from here on out every single game, Dustin, because he's that much of a difference maker. Case in how, he's playing the best baseball of his Auburn career right now. Dude is spanking the baseball. I mean, that ball Saturday was inches from going over the monster. Inches. Yeah. If we're playing at any other park, that's a tie ball game. All right. That is a tie ball game in any other park in the SEC. All right. He's hitting the ball. He's taking bags. We know his elite defense. He's having great ABs, man. I can remember at times where last year where Kaysen, you would catch him just being so just out on his front foot and impatient and swinging at just terrible pitches at certain parts in the year. And now it's not, you don't really see that anymore out of him. And then you've got Bobby Pierce out there, man, who's just absolutely locked in. I mean, he has come through time and time again, and his defense is so much improved. I know he had the blunder yesterday and everything, but damn, that's going to happen, man. You know, it's just, they're college kids. Nobody's going to be perfect. Okay.
Right.
The dude made an error. He comes back up and he just keeps hitting. So, you know, the outfield is absolutely phenomenal, man. It's electric out there. It's hard for something to fall. I think the only way you can get something to fall is for somebody to lose it in the sun like Stanfield did. That's how damn good it is. But man, Dustin, you know, starting off Friday night, we kind of looked at this during the middle of the week and we said, hey, look, Tommy Vail, all right, he's got to win Friday night. He's got to give you his all Friday night. And by God, did he, Dustin. I mean, Tommy Vail, let's see here. He went 5 innings, 3 hits, 0 runs, 3 walks, and 10 Ks, Dustin. 10 Ks, 3 walks. He lowered that number. He's usually around 4 to 5 walks, like we always talk about. Giving up 3 hits, 5 innings, man. I mean, phenomenal performance. All right. And then you hand it over to John Armstrong, Tanner Bauman. Tanner ended up getting in a little trouble. Will has to come in and really shut the door and close it out. And the Auburn Tigers pick up a 2-1 victory. All right. Let that sink in a little bit now. A 2-1 victory. Hey, and Cooper McMurray, okay? Koopa Loop, Mr. Big Mac, all right, Mr. Foul Pole, whatever you want to call him. We're not in Kansas anymore, with an absolute tank to get things started for the Auburn Tigers.
I think his back hurts.
Dude, I mean, goodness, you know, I was gonna speaking of that, I was gonna like his mom posted something on Twitter and everything, and I was about to comment like, dude's gonna have to have off-season back surgery, but then I was like, nah, maybe, you know, like, I don't want anybody on Twitter like coming in there and be like, oh, you're down in this guy or whatever, you know. So I left it alone, man. How about the play of Chris Stanfield? Chris ends up getting a base hit. Cole comes up to bunt him over in the 8th, and Cole ends up fouling the bunt straight behind the plate. Mississippi State's catcher, so caught off guard, bro, had no idea Stanfield was going to tag up. And so he makes a hell of a catch up against the wall, all right? He makes a hell of a catch on his knee and then turns around. Stanfield's headed for second. He tries to make a throw to second. It goes off Chris's helmet, bounces over to the 5-6 hole, and Chris gets up and immediately goes to third and swipes third, and then puts you in the position for a deep fly ball. And who else hits the deep fly ball to get him in? Bobby Barrels, and he drives an RBI in, and that gives you a 2-1 lead, and you end up winning that Friday night game, man. What was your overall thoughts on the Auburn Tigers' performance in Game 1?
Well, you know, like I mentioned in the open, just first off, standing ovation, like you said, the Tommy Vail. I mean, it's back to back. It's almost like Tommy said, oh, okay, like now y'all need me to turn it up, I'll turn it up. So I love a guy that when the pressure's on, when the pressure's the highest. I mean, every series for us now takes on a huge level of importance. And since we kind of got to that point through our own doing, but since we got to that point, Tommy said, I'm gonna turn it up. And it looks like the same thing for Herberholz. So that's really encouraging. And then on the point about Stanfield, it's just you gotta have having athletes make such a difference. You know, just having guys that are capable of making that play, having athletes on the base paths can make a ton of difference, especially in a one-run ball game. I mean, you saw the difference that it made. So it's great awareness from the freshmen, and just that whole sequence, the phenomenal play from the Mississippi State catcher, that whole sequence. I looked at my buddy that I was watching the game with, and I said, "Isn't college baseball fun?" Because both of these teams have to win this series. I mean, both teams are coming in saying, we've got to take this one. And that's why you saw 3 phenomenal games.
Yep.
Because everything is on the line for 2. The records don't show it, but compared to the rest of the nation, 2 of the best teams in the country. I'm just going to say it. It's SEC baseball. That is what it is, right?
Dude, how good are these 2 offenses?
Yeah, Mississippi State's got studs. The kid they got hurt, the pitcher.
Yeah, the dome kid.
Yeah, he's throwing gas, bro.
Yeah, 97. Just that AB where he put it in on Stanfield's hands.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, what a pitch, bro. Like filthy, man. Yeah, they're good, man. Like the only thing that kills both of these teams is guess what? Relief pitching.
It showed
bullpen.
I mean, dude, like Saturday, if we would have pulled that off, that would have been one of the craziest comebacks I've ever seen in all the sports. Like, there was a Braves-Mets game I went to when I was a kid where the Braves came back down 10-0. And again, I was probably one of 200 people in the park at that point. Don't leave the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But yeah, man, just Cooper, like that's 5 home runs in 4 games. So like last week, SEC Player of the Week. So that kind of tells you what it was. He just, Coop lit it up. Our boy Coop lit it up. And if you haven't watched it, go and watch our interview with him. He's a great kid, man. He's a genuine dude. Talks about his friendship with Caden Green and just how they're kind of over here trying to make a name for themselves at Auburn. So he definitely is, dude. He definitely is. It's hard to ignore it. And like you said, foul pole. And then in game 2,
hit a bomb.
He hits another bomb, but he made one hell of a defensive play, catching the ball that was high, turning around and tagging the runner. And I just, I think, man, some of these scouts that were probably there to watch some other guys kind of may have sat back and wrote down Cooper McMurray's name after this weekend because the kid can do it all, bro. He can do it all. But on Friday night, he was a crucial part of it. Just everybody that took the bump, good job. Like ultimately, when you only give up 1 run, hell yeah. And then we made enough plays to get it done. So we're Friday night warriors, bro. We're the goons of Friday night.
I posted a tweet yesterday and I said I've never seen a team come out on a Friday night or a game win if they play it on Thursday night, whatever, and just absolutely annihilate whoever they play. All right, just absolutely beat the piss out of whoever they play.
Hey, 10-1 versus Florida.
Yeah. All right. Look at what they did to Alabama. It should have been 8-0, not 8-4. All right. Just absolutely beat the piss out of whoever they play, bro. And then you come out Saturday and Sunday in game 2 and game 3 and look completely lost. All right. I said, I've never seen a team do that. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Cooper McMurray, I mean, just absolutely went bananas. And Nate LaRue, all right, we'll get into that in a minute. 251 Mobile, Alabama. Love you, Nate. It's just so clutch, dude. I mean, right there. I mean, God. But
he's above 150 too now, ain't he?
Yeah, dude, he's starting to hit. Like he's hey, you get me, you keep hitting and get up around 200, 220, bro. That's all I ask out of Nate, man. That's really all we need. But yeah, man, look, game 2, that was that was such a heartbreaking loss, it felt like, because you were down. What were we down? 11-3, 11-4? And
that was nuts.
yeah, you get it all the way back to 11-10, and you got Dial at the dish, who got rung up on a ball. All right. That ball was off the plate. All right. Do you disagree, Dustin?
No, I think and we haven't done this all year. This isn't like basketball where we had to come in here every single time and be like, "Oh my God, what was that?" Like, I think that the officiating, at least for our games, has been very solid this year.
Mm-hmm.
This weekend, dog shit behind home plate.
Yeah.
Dog shit.
And I said something. I remember Friday night, I kind of said he rung somebody up. The guy behind the plate rung somebody up Friday night for us. And I was like, whoa. And I was like, we just didn't get that call. Like John Armstrong, he didn't get that call last inning. And I'm like, that's low, bro. That's at the shins. And then it's like the strike zone, he just maneuvered his strike zone constantly. It would shrink and then it would go big and then it would shrink. He would just maneuver it each inning, bro, like hot and cold on MLB The Show, like that's what it really felt like.
The call on Dial, to me, what it felt like just in the moment. And, I am guilty of having orange and blue glasses. You see all the Auburn stuff on my wall behind me. I mean, y'all know me. I'm guilty of it. But listen, that to me seemed like, man, I thought I was about to get out of here. And now if they get one more run, it's going to be 11-11, and I'm going to have to go to extras with bullpens that aren't doing good, and I might be here for another hour and a half. It seemed to me like homeboy wanted to go home. That was my initial reaction.
It felt off. Look, I'm not going to sit here and get mad at Ryan Dow for not swinging the bat at that pitch.
That was a ball.
All right, because it was off the plate. It was off the plate. All right. And he let him know about it too. That's what I like. He let him know. He said, "Hey, bro," he said, "that ball's off the plate. Like, that's not hittable. Like, if I was to swing at that, it's going to be a weak ground ball, or I'm going to pop it straight up in the infield, whatever. Like there's nothing I can drive with that pitch." And how do you end a game? Like, off the plate, man. It was clearly a ball. And then the announcer, he's like, "Yeah, man, it was a clear strike." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like that ball was a foot off the plate, man. But, just to have Case and Howell come up in that situation and hit one off the monster and get to third and have you in that position to even tie it. What was your confidence level going into game 3 to even make that comeback? Because I saw some Mississippi State fans, Dustin, they were saying like, well, I think we have all the momentum because Auburn made that late push, and it was just so heartbreaking for them to lose after getting that close. How did you feel about it?
Knowing both teams, knowing how both bullpens already are, when you start a series, I kind of expected 15-14 coming into Sunday. I felt like it was going to be a wild game, and both teams had shown on the first two games the intensity, how important this weekend was to both of them. So what we got Sunday is kind of what I expected, like just as close, putting everything on the line. Now, I didn't think we were going to get down 7-0, but
yeah, man. One thing about game 2 that I wanted to ask you, because I kind of disagreed with the pitching decision after Herbert Holtz got pulled. Okay, why go back to Tanner Bauman and John Armstrong after they had just thrown Friday night? I felt like you would save them, but was Butch looking at Saturday as like throwing all the chips in? Because that's kind of how I took it. When I saw Tanner and John in the pen, I was like, okay, we're throwing all our chips in after Christian just gave us this start of 5 innings and just absolute dominance. We're trying to win today and not worry about tomorrow. Is that how you felt?
Yeah, I just felt like Butch was saying, listen, I got to win a series, and here's my opportunity to do it. And then I'll a little bit of also probably I'm not trying to waste 2 good starts from Herbert Holtz in a row.
Yeah.
And ultimately you did, and that sucks. But if you quit doing that, then you win last weekend and then you lock this one up on Saturday. And ultimately you say if it ends the same way it did Sunday, then you have a sweep. So yeah, if you can start coming in behind Herbert Holtz and locking it down and quit wasting, I mean, he was unbelievable Saturday, bro. And it's a shame that you got nothing out of that. So I think it was a little bit of that too, but ultimately, I mean, the main thing, yeah, I agree with you. Was just Butch is looking at it saying, dude, here's my opportunity to win a series. I got to win a series.
And that bullpen got rocked.
Yes.
Everybody that come out of there. Bauman, Armstrong, Chase Isbell with an abysmal performance. I expect more out of Chase Isbell. Drew Nelson hasn't been competitive all year besides North Alabama. I don't really care about that. I want to see you in the big moment. Hasn't been there. And Chase also is, at this point, a book on the shelf that's just dust from front to cover, and don't really care to clean it at this point. I'll be honest with you. It's not competitive when he comes in the game. Anytime he throws the fastball over the heart of the plate, it gets hit 450. The breaking stuff, it's just not competitive. It's pass ball after pass ball, or a wild pitch, I should say, because it's that far out of the zone, man. Like anytime he goes off speed, it's a ball. Like it's just not competitive. So I don't even know why we continue to go down that road, Dustin. So it hurt to lose game 2 because we kind of talked about possibly sweeping the Mississippi schools, and just to get that 11-10 right there, we were like, man, we could just
90 feet away.
90 feet away from sending it to extra innings, and once you come back from that, you kind of feel like you got all the Momo and extras, right? So that stung a little bit, but I was positive with Zach going on game 3, getting on the bump, and we come out Sunday, he gets hurt. It's a struggle bus. They put up 7. Will Cannon comes in, he gets rocked. That was kind of surprising, but they jumped all over him. We're down 7-0 in the 4th inning, and the rest is history, Dustin. Cooper McMurray said, "Hey, how you doing? This is my day. I'm going to hit both foul poles, and I'm going to win SEC Offensive Player of the Week." Nate LaRue, down 9-5 with a runner on.
Bro.
Dude hadn't hit a bomb all year, steps up, and a deep drive to left center. Hits a nuke. And how good do you feel for Nate, Dustin? I mean, the dude's been hearing it on social media. You listen to the broadcast and like, oh, he's hitting 130 and yada yada yada, but he's a great defensive catcher, and I get people DMing me and they're like, man, why is Nate still in the game and everything? And I'm like, well, because you just can't let people have free passes from first. A free 90 feet to second. It can't happen. So he's got to be in there, and let's be honest. Who you going to put there? All right. Yeah, you can put Ike there, but we've seen that, he's just, I don't think that really works right now because Ike's swinging it so well in the DH spot, and you don't want to take his legs out from underneath him. And if you take Nate out, what else are you going to get? You're going to get the same productivity with not, less defense, not the same defense back there. So, it's Nate until it's not anymore. So, man, how good do you feel for this kid though?
Dude, it's one of them things where, and we talk about it time and time again, where on these episodes where we have to get on the team, or I don't even want to say get on because I don't want to sound like I have some kind of authority, but just where we have to say what we saw, and ultimately they lost, so it doesn't sound good, right? Mm-hmm. And no, by the way, when that's happened, like we were so excited this weekend just to come on here and be positive vibes because we look. We know, okay. We do a video of for Denver Jones' commitment. and it gets more views than the like we know that baseball doesn't drive Auburn sports, right? But what me and you we legit love this baseball program, and our goal. Yes, we have our own goals that we want to try to grow this podcast, but we want to cover every Auburn baseball series, put it out there for the Auburn baseball fans, and shine a light on this program. Like we care about this program. So when we have to do those kind of things, when we have to say like, man, Chase is struggling. You know what I would love to see? I would love to see Chase get it together. When we have to say, man, Nate's just not getting a hit right now, it's automatic out. Dude, like when he hit that thing over the fence, I lost it, bro. Almost hurt my damn arm again. Like I'm jumping around in my sling, like just because you see the struggle on his face when he strikes out. Like you see, like, dude, and then we talk to people and they're like, bro, like Nate is putting in the work. He's at the facility every day. He's trying to figure this thing out. And slowly but surely, he's not tearing the cover off the ball. But there was a time when he was batting .068. And right now, I think he's at like 152 or somewhere around there. And it was kind of one of them things, too, where when he hit that ball, it was like, I mean, you text back and forth, like, oh, we're going to win this game.
Yeah.
It was just this immediate feeling of, oh, we're going to win now. And his teammates, they see him every day. So you saw how excited they were. Just the jolt, man. Like, and if you play sports, you know how it is when you have a guy that's struggling and you're practicing with him. You get to the point where it's like, man, I just want to see my boy get it. I just want to see him get it. He's putting in the work. He's putting in the work. We say it a million times. Nobody wants it more than the athletes, the coaches themselves. To see him hit that ball over the fence, dude, like 251, stand up, bro. Hell yeah. Like, love it, dude. Love it. So happy for him. And it was super clutch. Like, we had to have it. And I think that was in basketball terms, that was that dagger three. And I know we were still down, but it was just a shot to Mississippi State. Like, y'all ain't getting out of here with a win, bro.
Yeah, man. And look, Nate does that. We had that bottom of the seventh. We got bases loaded, and we look to just really take the lead there. And it's a one-run game. We've cut it to 9-8, and we can't score. And you're just kind of like, you just kind of felt deflated, man. And it's just, I was like, that was our chance, And then Mississippi State comes up in the top of the eighth, and they add one.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, boy, here we go. Like, we were that damn close. We left people on. We couldn't attack with the bases loaded, one out. Frustrating, right? And then Mr. Bryson Ware comes up. You're down to 10-8, the bottom of the eighth. I think there was one out. And what are you doing throwing that pitch belt high to a guy that has hit 16 home runs on the year, Dustin?
Making a mistake.
I mean, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, look, I know you throw gas, all right? And that was the Dome kid. And look, everything that happened to him, man, with the arm after that happened, like, we're praying for him, right? Because you hate to see that. It's terrible. When he immediately started pointing to his elbow, I was just like, oh, no, like TJ, it's the worst thing that you ever want to have happen as a pitcher, and especially in his collegiate young career.
The kid from Stanford too, right? Tuesday night, the kid from Stanford. Yeah. And I know his dad. His dad is Travis Fryman, played Major League Baseball. They're from Pensacola. They're huge and just growing the game around here. I have no idea. It seems like he's got 15 kids that have played D1 ball. But that pitcher from Stanford that hurt his arm. Great family. Their dad, Travis Fryman, if you don't know him, look him up, had a good MLB career, a long career, stayed in the game a long time. They're very, very, very good people in our community here. So praying for that kid as well.
Yeah, man. It's stuff you just hate to see. But when Bryson made contact, man, you immediately off the bat, you knew, like, if it's fair, it's gone. All right. And you knew as soon as the camera panned to left field, they panned to the monster, you were like, hey, it's out of here. All right, we're in the lead. And then you go into the ninth, Dustin, and Bryson you have Connor Copeland in there, man, a guy that didn't even travel to Tuscaloosa with the team. Butch said in the post game, he said, Connor, come to me in the middle of the week. All right. Connor Copeland, 251 Mobile, Alabama. All right. Step
Pensacola
up.
State Pirate. Pensacola State Pirate.
Yeah. He went to Butch and he said, hey, man, don't give up on me. All right. I want some innings, man. Don't give up on me. I want to show you that I'm ready to compete. And you just seen the leadership, the veteran leadership from Connor Copeland, and it wasn't perfect. It wasn't a perfect performance from Connor, but he made the pitch to get out of it. Bryson gets caught on a tough hop. The ball is laying right in front of him. He can't find it. Mississippi State ties it up, right? Man, you go into the bottom of the ninth. Your season's on the line. You're in a tie game. 11-all, right? And you have a chance to win it. You got Nate LaRue on base, all right? And Butch said that he didn't want to pinch run for Nate until he got to second base. So Nate gets to second, and you put Josh Hall in there. So once Josh Hall, he pinch runs for Nate, a base hit scoring Josh Hall.
Yeah.
All right, base hit scoring Josh Hall. And you have Cole Foster with one out coming to the plate, a guy that hadn't got a hit all day, had been just swinging straight through everything, couldn't buy a hit, and steps up and hits a ball into the right center gap. You knew it right off the bat. It was a hit. Auburn wins. Man, what was your thoughts when Cole got that base knock, him stepping up, also a veteran, and the leadership that he brings? What were your thoughts on that clutch hit and Auburn finally winning a series?
Obviously elated, and just going to Bryson booting that ball at third.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that whole sequence, him hitting that home run and then him booting that ball, is losing it. You know what I mean? I think it's indicative. It's a perfect sequence to tell you what this team is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just what I'm trying to say is, if we just clean it up, man, if we just clean up the little stuff, because you see Stanfield make mistakes, you see Bobby make mistakes, and then you see them hosing guys, and you see them jumping and robbing home runs and making them just same thing with this pitching, dude. We've seen Copeland have good outings. We've seen him. I mean, then obviously it went to a place where he wasn't even traveling, and then he comes out and he puts it on. Clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
We clean this up. If we get this together, if all these little things that just pick the ball up, Bryson, just field that ball, throw it to first. Coop ain't gonna drop it, and then we're out of here. Ultimately, still got it done. So good job. We wouldn't be in that position if you didn't hit the home run. But just if we clean up these little things, man, then we're gonna be a tough out for anybody the rest of the season, especially now with having our backs up against the walls. Because I'm not saying that we've been haven't been playing hard for but we just seem to have a little something different this weekend. Yeah. There just seemed to be a little bit more fire in the gut. There just seemed to be a little bit more juice overall. And we're going to need that going forward. And I expect with the leaders we have, and that's why you see a guy like Cole step up, a leader, a veteran, and make that hit. Telling the young guys, follow me, man. Telling those new guys like Cooper and Ike and Stanfield, follow me. Let me show you how you get to Omaha. So I love it, dude. I just, with everything on the line, I mean, with everything that this season meant, you had to make those plays. You had to make those at-bats. It would have been very, very easy down 7-0 on Sunday to throw your hands up and say, here we go again. And they decided to go the opposite route. So we're still alive and still, I mean, we have a huge opportunity this weekend.
Huge. All right. This is a team that just swept Florida. All right. At home. This is a team that hits more home runs than anybody in the country. All right. They got a National Player of the Year candidate. All right. They got a 2 Cy Young Award winning pitcher. All right. They got a 2 All-American. All right. They got a 2 All-Conference. All right. They got a 2 All-State. All right. They got a 2 All-Big 12 candidate. All right. They got a national player of the year candidate. that can absolutely rake. All right, their pitching is elite, but you have a chance to go on the road. And what are they? The number 3 team in the country in the latest polls today that comes out. Okay, so and look, I apologize to South Carolina fans because I got on here and I said, hey, I don't know if they're that good. I said, their schedule just could look kind of weak a couple weeks ago before SEC play started, and I was just kind of like, I don't know about them. No, they're legit. All right, they're back. All right, they are back. All right, they're for real. They do it in every phase of the game. They play great defense. They hit. They pitch. Their bullpen. I mean, they take patient at bats. They don't get cheated. They don't swing at BS pitches. So that is one thing we gotta be ready. We gotta go up there and be competitive. And our bullpen has to show up. If not, ask Florida how it goes, because they walked a slew of people and they ended up getting beat. All right. So, look, huge opportunity, like you mentioned, Dustin. You go up there, I'm not asking you to go sweep South Carolina on the road. That's not going to happen. All right. I'm not asking you to take 2 out of 3, but you got to take a game. All right. You got to take a game, at least one. All right. Then you get to come back to the house and take on LSU at the crib at Plainsman. That one should be fucking packed. All right. It should be packed. All right. I don't want to see an empty seat at Plainsman Park for the rest of the year. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't give a I don't care if we're losing 9-2. I don't care. All right. I was once told as a kid, man, you don't pack your stuff up until the final out is made in the bottom of the 9th or the top of the 9th, whatever. All right. You don't pack your stuff up until the last out's made. You want to know why? Because anything can happen in the game of baseball with 1 out left on the table. Anything can happen. And you saw it. You saw it at Plainsman in game 2. All right. Yeah. I mean, it's insane, bro. Like, come on. And everybody, another point that I want to touch on real quick, Dustin, is everybody wants to talk about Mississippi State and Ole Miss's atmosphere. Man, I really wish we had that atmosphere. You want to know where that atmosphere comes from? It comes from student involvement, okay? Your student body has to get involved, all right? Yep. Alabama can be a baseball state. Okay, we have legitimate baseball talent in this state. I know we love football. I know basketball has made strides, but the student section, the student body has to be involved to have those types of atmospheres. Let me tell you something. What do you think the students at Alec Box Stadium do? What do you think they do down there in Baton Rouge, bro? It's a different type of atmosphere. Look at Arkansas. All right. Dave Van Horn got that program out there. They're students. All right. I mean, it's insane. All right. But Auburn, they pan the crowd at Plainsman and you see empty seats, 6 empty seats, 8 empty seats, a little crowd here. All right. You go along the first base side, you see a little crowd here. Then you see a lot of the visiting section. All right. Yeah, you see them kind of infiltrating your space, your grandstands. I'm sick of seeing it, bro. Their visiting section is down the right field line for a reason. And damn it, that's where they should stay. All right. So for the rest of the year, if you're an Auburn baseball fan, damn it, you bring your people to Plainsman Park and you stay. All right. You stay, you get rowdy, you liven up this baseball team, man. Get behind their damn backs, man, and stop leaving the game early, bro. It ticked me off when I saw that, Dustin, because I was like, bro, come on. Like, it was the 4th inning on Sunday and people were leaving.
Right.
And you missed an all-time classic. You missed, I mean, some of the best hitting that Auburn's ever put on. You missed it. Yeah. Insane, bro.
Yeah, and my problem is too, and I'll talk, so like one on the empty seat thing, because then after the game they'll tweet out it was sold out. So like what it is, it's like, bro, put these tickets on SeatGeek, StubHub, whatever, and don't try to charge me $200 for a baseball ticket. to a college baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
It's $20-$30, man. I'm already coming from Pensacola or whoever, like anybody, in Huntsville or Montgomery or just somewhere around that wants to make that drive, Phoenix City, wherever, dude. Like, make it. If you have season tickets, put them where we can get them, and then don't make it this whole like crazy process where I got to get, because it's a whole thing now, right? You don't just get a ticket no more. It's not just pick the ticket up at will call. God forbid we do something like that. It's got to be, I got to get my email from SeatGeek, and you got to, it's all this
that damn COVID.
Stuff. Yeah, dude,
COVID.
It's wild. So so I understand like just not even wanting to go through that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, just on that part, like make your tickets available, give them away. You know what I mean? Like if you've already bought season tickets, just, hey man, give them to an Auburn fan that's going to go support the team. Or crazy thought, you go. But like, anyway, but my thing I want to say about this is, for one, you laid out all these other stadiums in the SEC. So there was a time when no one looked at Auburn's basketball program and said they got rabid fans. Bro, if I tweet out one thing about Auburn basketball, I can't look at my phone. And all I'm saying is just that that's not me trying to like toot my own horn. I'm saying like basketball is just the driver right now, dude. Like people are talking to Auburn basketball. We're nuts about basketball right now on the Plains. And that's cool. And I love it. There was a time period where that would have sounded like you was on crystal meth if you would have said, man, Auburn's going to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bro, put down the LSD, brother. Like, y'all don't care about basketball. So it's possible. And I saw the regional atmosphere last year. That's what led to the boosters and everybody finally saying, and I'm not saying solely, but like they looked at it and said, we've been talking about these stadium expansion. We've been talking about these upgrades to Playman. Let's do it. Look at this atmosphere. Let's do it. And then we all kind of pushed as a fan base. Hey, we're pretty much ranked last in the SEC in baseball stadiums. Let's get this thing cranked up a little bit. And the new Josh Donaldson hitting facility and all that kind of stuff that's been coming in. So like, for one, you got to have the atmosphere, right? Like right now they're telling the students basically pull up a folding chair in the outfield. Now, some of them are doing it, and I'm sure that's a fun time. They're up on the parking deck or whatever. Put some bleachers out there, put some party decks out there, like in Mississippi State, where they can grill, do this, that, and the other. And next thing you know, you'll have beach balls and beer snakes and God knows what. So, like, you got it. So I think some of that will come with the atmosphere. But listen, dude, I went to that series for Southeast Louisiana. I went to the Vanderbilt series last year, and I'm just telling you, bro, like, man, you almost feel weird if you're too hype and too loud because the overall atmosphere is so subdued. And like a baseball game is more relaxed, like for example, just as I've got older, I've kind of found myself liking baseball more because of the slow pace. Look, I love hockey. I love basketball, all that kind of stuff. Let's get it. But like, there's that part of baseball where it's just kind of laid back and chill, and I'm at the ballpark, and I do like that. But like, if it's the fifth inning and they've got a guy on third and a guy on second, and we're at a 3-2 count about to get out of the jam, stand up. Stand up and clap for your guys. Stand up. Helmet man's trying to get y'all pumped up. He's running around leading chants and everything. Follow helmet guys. Lead, like there's been times when I've been sitting in Plainsman and I'm like, it's 2 strike. We're trying to get out of this thing. And me and my brother are the only ones yelling. Like, what's going on here?
What about when in the top of the ninth, Sunday? All right. You text me and you were like, hey, it's crazy that there's a runner on third in a 1-run game, 2 outs, and everybody behind the plate is sitting down.
Sitting down.
There's nobody clapping. There's nothing, bro. Like it's just everybody sitting down. You think that happens in Knoxville?
It doesn't. Dude, any SEC baseball game. I mean, when it's a close game, when it's down to the nitty-gritty, their whole crowd is standing up, clapping, yada, yada, yada. We'll have a guy come out, Tommy Vail, and just whoever, somebody will have a pitch a good game and come out, and I see 15 people stand up. Stand your ass up and give the pitcher. Do you not know baseball etiquette? Like, and I don't want to sound like I'm a better Auburn fan than everybody. I'm just saying, bro, listen to me. Like, look at what we did for the A&M game with Cadillac.
Yeah.
Look at the atmosphere that we've put out with I mean, we've lost 2 home basketball games in the last 2 seasons. There's a reason for that. It's tough to win in the jungle, bro, because we're nuts.
Yep.
The gymnastics and gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all for it.
Yep.
Bring this to baseball, bro. We've been playing this sport for over 100 years. These kids are working their ass off. It's embarrassing to me to see how quiet the best fans in the country with every other sport decide to just get. Watch a softball game. We're not that way on the diamond. The softball games are crunk. Softball games are hype, bro.
By the way, all right. Okay. 2 out of 3. Took 2 out of 3 in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
Kudos to those ladies. Love that.
You beat Bama in a sport.
Yeah, man. And that game 3 was hype too.
Yes,
I mean, there was some emotions there, and one thing about that little softball series right here before we get out of here, Pat Murphy did an interview earlier in the game, and he said, you know, what's crazy about this series is you'll always be remembered if you come up with a big hit or you throw a complete game shutout or you give up 1 run. And he said, if you do something magical in this series, people will forever remember your name and you will go down in greatness in this rivalry's history. And man, those girls, shout out to them, dude. I mean, you know, they were doubted at the beginning of the year. All right. Yeah. Some people were saying, like, hey, you know, I don't know if this Auburn softball thing's going in the direction that it needs to be going. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people were, Dustin, and my goodness, they have turned it. They have turned it around. They've gotten it going. They're swinging it. They're pitching. They're playing defense. And you know, they're starting to collect some big time victories, man. So kudos to them, Dustin. But before we get out of here, man, I always leave you with your final thoughts, and the floor is yours, brother.
Yeah, we've talked about him probably 5 times today, so I'm gonna give him one more. Hey, Tommy Vail, do your Mason Barnett, bro. Do your Mason Barnett. That's exactly what I see right here. Mason struggled. I don't know if he didn't necessarily struggle, but it wasn't all that at the beginning of last year. And now the kid he's pitching great in the Kansas City Royals minor league system. Keeps doing what he's doing. He's going to get called up. So shout out to you, Mason. But like, if you're one of these pitchers on this team right now that's in the bullpen or you're struggling, look at your teammate. Tommy's had bad outings, and now all of a sudden he's getting it together. So let's put all the pieces together, man. Let's put all the pieces together. Let's quit making stupid errors at stupid times. Let's just, you know what I mean? Like, just all this stuff. It's always something sporadic. Here we go. It's all over the place. Tighten it up, lock it up, and let's get this thing, you know, cleaned up, and let's get into this tournament. Because we said this at the beginning of the year. And I want to say this for football next year, because I got people in my mentions about a Robbie Ashford tweet telling me that anything less than 8 games next year is going to be disappointing for Hugh Freeze and Auburn. Turn your expectations to a little bit more of something realistic, okay? And for this baseball team this year, making the postseason with as young as we are would be a plus.
Yep.
You know, maybe let's make a little run in the SEC tournament. Let's make some noise, you know. But it's about gaining experience and still making – I don't want to miss the tournament. Let's still make the tournament, but let's get these young cats some experience. And, yeah, like we said, dude, support this baseball team. Like, if you live anywhere around there, do what you got to do. These remaining home games, even the midweek game, man, get out there and support these boys because they need it. And other than that, man, support us. Like and subscribe to the videos. You know, I say it all the time, man. We have analytics that we can look at, right? And there was a lot of people. There's always a chunk of percentages. Every content creator goes through this. There's a large chunk of people that are watching our stuff that aren't subscribed. So if you like us, and you're coming back every single time and watching our stuff, just do us that simple thing. We're not going to ask you for a dime. Just hit that subscribe button, man, and you will help us out tremendously. And but we're growing, and we appreciate you guys. Our goal is to get to around 500 to 600 before football, and then y'all know how it is, Auburn football. The content, the views, everything kind of takes off from there. But through this summer, we want to get at least above 500, around 600-700. So when football pops, we can get over 1,000 and monetize. And so all our people that are here with us now and been rocking with us, we ain't going to forget about y'all. When we get to the point to where we have exclusive stuff and stuff like that, we'll remember the day ones for sure. We love y'all and appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, Dustin, that's good stuff, man. And one thing I do want to tell all of our listeners and everything is we will be going outside of the SEC, and we will be bringing on 3 guys, 247 rivals, whatever, man. We're going to be bringing guys on here for interviews to check out other programs around the country, kind of like I did last year before I come over to YouTube, before you come on, Dustin, and join me with this podcast, man. I was bringing guys on from USC, Ohio State. I had Ashton on from Notre Dame. She was a great guest. I had, LSU, Preston Guy from LSU. Just so many people. Like I had the podcast, one of the Believe in Dogs podcasts from Georgia. Corey, he come on. It was as cool as could be, man. Just diving into their programs and just I had Brian on from Nebraska and talked about Scott Frost and things like that, man. Just diving in to all these other programs just outside of the SEC. You know, maybe you might be a football fan who only watches the SEC or only watches Auburn, but we want to bring you other content to let you see what these other programs are like. You know, I had on Joel Gunderson from Oregon, and I asked him a lot about Bo Nix. You know, I was like, hey man, like, are you guys excited for Bo? I would like to get Joel back on here and ask him year 2 for Bo at Oregon. You know, like, how is that going to be? So be looking forward to that. We're going to have some great interviews. You know, we've had Cooper on an interview. We had Mikey Matuk, the LSU baseball legend, man. Just you know, Ike Jones from the War Report. You know, I mean, can't say enough about him. All the help that he has done. Yeah, he'll be back soon. So it's constantly growing, and we thank each and every one of you for following. Like Dustin said, if you could hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, so you will get notifications when we do drop episodes. It will let you know that we have dropped one, so you can tune in and check us out. And if you could, always hit the like button. Get in the comments. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Comment anything that you have to say about the game. You know, who you thought was the MVP. Like we said, Cooper McMurray was our MVP. Let us know anything. Put it in there, man. We would love to hear and interact with each and every one of you. Dustin and I will both be in the comment section, and we will give you our thoughts and opinions. So with that being said, like always, it is War Damn Eagle, and we will catch you on the next one. We're out.